What's going on, guys? What's going on, guys? So the game's set. Yeah, just doing a little bit of a mushroom farm, maybe some sky shards, maybe a bit of PvP. So we are in Vardenfell. I'm on PCNA. Can't wait for mods on console. Yeah, it's going to be good. Definitely going to get the harvesting one. And the Sky Shard one as well. That's another one that's really good. It's been a long time coming. But yeah, I haven't been doing too much farming on console because of what's been going on with all the banning and stuff, so it sort of put me off. But this is my PC account, which I'm not too bothered about. Obviously, I still don't want it to get banned, but you know, if this does get banned or whatever, then I'm not gonna lose too much sleep. But like, my Xbox is on my main account, so don't really want to be losing everything on that. Viridian dust. But yeah, I don't think we've got to wait much longer till the new update drops. Probably like another week or so. Like, this character is slow. So yeah, I might do some BGs and stuff, just some casual PvP, bit of harvesting, bit of farming. See if we get lucky. I've got my add-ons, as you can see. I've got all the mushroom and the clothing nodes. We'll just be going around, try and grab some sky shards along the way, as I am lacking quite a few. As I will be maining my warden for the subclass, and just waiting for the final patch notes, of course, just in case they make any changes. But yeah, I pretty much know what I'm going to be running in subclassing, as the meta has pretty much been established now, you know, give or take. Obviously there is a handful of good builds you can make, but yeah, it's pretty much Warden, Nightblade, Templar passives. You can go frost damage as well with the Arcanist. It's going to be really strong as well for more like AoE burst. I'm debating. What have I got? I've got a pen on this. I haven't got that levelled. Mind you, the Northern Storm does give me major protection. This is basically my Magic 45 Warden, which was pretty much... I might have adjusted it a little bit, but yeah, it was like 45k health, 4.5k critical resistance, and I think it was meant to be about 45,000 physical and spell resistance. What mixed with Warden? Yeah, it's going to be Templar. You're going to want Templar as the all the healing and defensive buffs. You want Warden for like the sub and stuff, and then you're going to want the Nightblade assassination line for the spec bow, and that's pretty much the meta. High crit. You know, it's going to be a block meta. You need to be blocking, or you're just going to drop quick. You know, if you're sort of playing at a high end. Obviously, if you're not playing at a high end, it doesn't really matter. You can still play what you want. You know, not everyone wants to be super competitive in PvP. Sometimes you just want to play casually. Sometimes I play competitively, and other times I just play casually. You know, a bit of BGs and stuff. One bar build, nice and simple. But yeah, I haven't done a stream in a while, as I've been having a lot of trouble with the internet. But we are getting new internet soon, in a week or two, so we'll be streaming more regularly. But yeah, it seems to be alright at the moment. Mind you, I am using a cable as well, so it does help. But yeah, this build is just super tanky. You know, you're not going to get burst down easy on this. Really good for BGs. And just easy just to pick up and play. Sometimes you don't want to do, you know, a crazy sweaty 2-bar. Sometimes I just want to play a bit more casually. And this is like perfect. I will be making a subclass variant of this. I did test it on PTS and it wasn't too bad. Obviously you're not going to have crazy damage. You know, it's just sort of like average damage with really high survivability. I was thinking Salk, Templar, Necro. Yeah, I was going to do Necro initially because the Blast Bones is undodgeable. And the Sorcerer line's quite good as well. But yeah, you definitely want Templar in the mix for the cleansing of the, you know, the dots. And it's just really good defensive passives. Yeah, I've also got another build I'm dropping, which is like an undodgeable build, 2-bar build. I haven't got the chest. Is that a chest? Okay, 10%. I won't be unlocking that. Yeah, but there's going to be a lot of really good combinations, that's for sure. But like I said, the meta has pretty much been established by, like, you know, the top end PvP players. So, you know, you're going to have to pretty much go if you want to be, you know, really competitive, you know, it's been established now. Unless they make any drastic changes at the end, you know, the new mythic's going to be a go-to as well. The monomyth reforged, as they gives you major force, which is crazy, and major protection on the back bar, so it's going to free up your CP as well. I need to check what CP I got on this actually. I'm even missing CPs. So yeah, fight and finesse. I'm gonna have to totally rejig this. Might have had the biting aura on for the Northern Storm. But that should be better, should be slapping a bit harder. And then you probably want the Duelist or Ironclad, which I do not have enough CP for. Why have I got Force of Nature? I don't want that. Right, yeah, that's pretty much how you want the blue CP, give or take. You know, you want a couple of direct damage ones, if that's what you'll be running, and obviously a couple of defensive ones. I don't need the resilience, so just Ironclad or the Duelist one. Fight and finesse for a bit of crit. That's if you got a high crit, to be honest. Which I don't think I do on this build, so I might not want that. Raffle Strikes is quite good as well. If you haven't got high crit, then go Raffle Strikes. Yeah, I shouldn't have Rejuvenation on there because that is just no good. Get rid of that one. You're always better with the one in here. Yeah, Pain's Refuge I should have on as well. I don't need that one. Sustained by Suffering. Oh, there we go. Lovely jubbly. So it should be doing a bit more damage. But yeah, I'm running. You can watch the full build guide, which yeah, it's the Magic 45 Warden, but it's pretty much Rallying Cry with Pariah. Should have One Piece Trainee, yeah. Probably should have that on the actual chest. But yeah, this still does damage. It's not as super damaging as some builds, but it's more just sort of being able to take a lot of punishment at a brawler style on a one bar. Nice and simple. Nice and easy. And the reason I like one bars as well is because yeah, sometimes you just want to play casually. You ain't always got to play sweaty. And you don't have as much resource management as well, which is what I like. I mean, my recoveries are not super high. They're obviously a bit high. If I pop a potion, they'll probably be around 1500 with the CP. And then with a pop a potion, about 1700. So they're still fairly high. But like you said, the skills you're looking at is literally 2 magic and 2 stamina, and that one's health. That's all you're casting, so you can get away with sort of like lower recoveries on a one bar, which is what I like, is less resource management. Because obviously you're running the Oaken Soul. You're not pre-buffing. I should be running the Oaken Soul, yep. You're not pre-buffing all the time. I like one bar builds. Yeah, it's just like, you know, a lot of people moan about them that they're no good. They're not going to kill really good players. You know, well, if you're not a really good player yourself, you're not going to kill good players anyway. You know, regardless what you put on. But you know, sometimes I just want to play casually. Because I do like playing 2-bar, but like not all the time. You know, sometimes you just want to go into a BGs or whatever. Not everything has to be, you know, super competitive at all times. I've actually got a decent mount on PC. Might quickly jump back. I don't think I've done the training mount either. Not got the... What? I don't have the way shrine? Crossplay confirmed for future. Yeah, I have read about that. That is definitely something they need to do big time. It should have happened ages ago, to be fair. What's going on, mate? Morning, Ghost Man. Good morning, good morning. Yeah, the crossplay is definitely something that's going to be very interesting. And it, like I said, it should have been implemented ages ago. Like I said, when you play on console, it's pretty dead unless you're like super peak time for the PvP side of things, of course. And it's annoying really because like my main account is Xbox. I wish it was PC, but it's not. So I just thought I'd make a secondary account. Right, where is the stable? Like speed over everything. Matt confirmed it on live stream. Xbox EU is dead in 0. Yeah, it is. It's proper dead. I mean, especially the time I play, I tend to play in the mornings. And I'm in the UK, so it's just... It's like 10 people on, so I don't play peak time. Whereas if you go PC, it's definitely more lively. Oh, I do have a bit of gold. I've got a couple of million. PS5 is pretty busy. Yeah, I think PlayStation's got a slight edge over Xbox. But yeah, they've still got player bases. They're not as, I mean, like PCs. Just there's players everywhere all the time. So there's always bars in Cyrodiil as well in PvP. There's always something going on. There's just more of a community overall. PS5 has more people bought the console over Xbox. Yeah, I think it's probably got slightly better than Xbox. But yeah, I'm still going to play on Xbox. It's just easier for me to stream on PC. And it's just nice to be on PC as well. But like I said, I will be doing a lot of my subclassing builds on Xbox because I have everything on Xbox that I need. So, you know, on PC I'm a bit more limited. I'm still going to be running a few bits. Still need to grab Essence Thief. But yeah, that's pretty much what the meta is going to be. It's going to be, you know, Rallying Cry on your back bar, which I called anyway. In one of my videos, I said that Rallying Cry was going to be pretty much needed 100% because everyone's going to be just pushing high crit. I'll be using Draconic with Bone Tyrant and Templar Rune. Yeah, that's actually quite a nice combo. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people have sort of turned their nose up at the Dragon Knight lines, but yeah, I think they actually are, because I think they've been hit with quite a few nerfs. But yeah, I wouldn't totally rule Dragon Knight out. There's definitely some nice combos I've seen. Yeah, like I said, I will be streaming a lot more regularly once I get my fibre broadband in a week or two. Then I'll be streaming a bit more often. I've got a couple more builds I'm releasing next week as well. Got a couple of subclassing builds. Got another stam salt build I want to release. Yeah, I think there's one more build that's not subclassing that I want to release, and then that's going to be pretty much it. It's going to be like 100% all subclassing builds from then on, because I think just running one class is really just going to hinder you. It's still doable, you know, and especially for high level players, they're not going to struggle. You know, like, there's really good mage sorcerers and that. You know, if you're a really good player, you don't have to subclass. You will still be at a disadvantage. You're still going to be stacked against you, but you know, really, really good PvPers, they're still going to be able to just run one pure class and still destroy most players. They're just going to obviously be at a disadvantage. There is going to be no advantage to running just a pure class anymore. 3% heal passive reduction, draconic nerf to battle roar. Yeah, I think that's put a lot of players off. But you still get 12% in total with Dragon Blood up. It's like having Malabeth up 100% of the time. Yeah, that's pretty good though. Is crossplay going to have cross save? I have no idea. People are sleeping on the mending passive buff for Pla. Yeah, that's what I said. Templar I think is going to be just a must. Particularly if you're dueling as well. Or, you know, 1v1s. You know, it's just the Templars are just so strong. You know, they have nerfed some stuff with the Templar. And we've still got to wait for the final patch notes. I think there will be one final patch notes just to confirm everything, but it's pretty much in stone now. I don't think they're going to be changing too much. You just got to wait for the final official patch notes, which I suppose will be next week. And then, yeah, you can start buying stuff. I was going to check the Essence Thief. Yeah, so as I was saying, yeah, like the meta, it's basically rallying cry on your back bar. You're going to need some high levels of critical resistance, or you're just going to drop quick, or you better have a lot of blocking, because, yeah, you're just going to be hit with really high crit builds, really super high damage, so you ain't going to get away with low crit if you want to be competitive anyway. So make sure you've got really high critical resistance. You know, you've got to have major protection, you've got to have all your defensive stuff now, because you are just going to go down fast. You know, double spec bowing, you know, you're going to get debuffs really easily. Most players are going to be putting on Deep Fissure because of the major and minor breach. You know, they're still going to be running like a corrosive build. So yeah, you must have, I would say, Rallying Cry is going to be on most builds for back bar. From like a typical 2-bar perspective, of course, anyway. And like I said, Essence Thief, Order's Wrath on the front bar. Oak Father, that sort of style, just on like an offensive on the front bar, of course, you know, defensive on the back bar. But yeah, Essence and Oak Father, probably like the top 2 sets front bar now, if you don't want to run procs. Well, let's check. But I've not got that Essence Thief. It's not even the right one. It's white gold. I do have quite a lot of it because I wanted the body pieces, because I'll, you know, be running Rally's light, so I do seem to have most of it I would need. I don't want the chest. So 1, 2, 3, 4. What would I be missing then? 1, 2, 3, 4. Wouldn't run the chest because that'd be a trainee piece. Yeah, I've pretty much got it. That's all good then. Mind you, I'm probably going to need the weapon, and yeah, that's what I'm missing. I'm missing a decent weapon, so probably the maul or battle axe is the ones you probably want. So I'm going to have to run that a few times. A white gold tower's a pain. I do not enjoy that. But yeah, Essence Thief, like I said, you can go Order's Wrath. You just want to be pushing high crit damage or really high damage. Yeah, I said Oak Father's a nice option. You know, or you could go cheese, chuck on tarnished. It depends how you want to run it, but yeah, that's pretty much it. You just want high crit damage, and you can just easily source it now. You know, you've got the Templar, which buffs critical damage. You've got the Nightblade buffing critical damage. You've got the Warden Lion buffing critical damage. So, like, yeah, you're going to be seeing players spec bowing you super high numbers. Everyone's going to be running. If you don't run spec bow, you know, unless you've got a really good build as well, you're just at a disadvantage. Why they buffed spec bow, I do not know. Double spec bowing. So when you get to 10 stacks, you can throw 2. It's just nuts. There's this damn plant. I might even have it and not even know it. Unlikely. What are these trees? Right, I'm back now, guys. Yeah, I'm going to queue for a BGs as well. Just see how we do. But yeah, guys, make sure you check out Death Gauntlet. I do believe he's the player that does them crazy immortal tank builds in Cyrodiil. I have no idea how he does it. I've done block tanks before, but his ones are just crazy. Inventory's full. So this is what happens when you don't have the craft bag. Well, I've not cleared my inventory in ages. What that do? I really need to pick up the Skyshards, but I've not done it yet. What's that? Talk to... Still not got the way shrine. Right, let's go grab that. So yeah, just pushing high critical damage. I mean, like I said, there is other ways you can subclass. It's not just that, but it's pretty much spec bow, sub assault, you know, incap, you know, with some Templar defensives. That's what most players are gonna be running, like on the high end. Oh, I finally got the way shrine. Yeah, let me know what yous might be running, guys. If you've got any other different ideas. There's also, yeah, I was going to make or I have made, like a Warden Arcanist build, like AoE build, which is really strong. I just haven't got any clips of me killing anyone, because trying to get clips on PTS is not easy, because of course you're against also really good players as well. So, you know, most of the time you're just getting dropped. There's not many just sort of like average PvPers that I can sort of fight against. They're all just like crazy top end on PTS. I mean, I have killed some players on PTS, just not many. What should I queue for white gold? What's going on with the BGs? It's going to be a specific... Like I said, you're not forced to do subclassing. You can still run your pure build. You just will be at a disadvantage, unfortunately. But if you're a good player, you know, you're still going to be okay. You know, from the PvP side of things. But like I said, it's going to benefit you to subclass. I'm going to have to subclass, you know, to remain even slightly competitive, because, you know, if I run a pure build, I'm going to be struggling, and you will be struggling against, you know, sweaty subclass builds. So you're going to have to pretty much, if you want to stay up there. And it's a lot of fun as well, to be honest. It's nice to make a lot of different combinations and stuff, but yeah, it's pretty much, you know, spec bow, Warden, Templar. You can even throw in, yes, I was trying to make the Necro work as well, because the blast bones does hit really hard in duels. I just couldn't get it to work. But saying that, I do have a build that is undodgeable. So it's like Meteor, Blast Bones, Javelin. So it's like an undodgeable. You can block it, but you can't dodge it. Really good combo. But I'm just going to release the build, because I don't think I'm going to get any actual clips of it. But yeah, the combo's definitely there. I want to make a fun reflect build, yeah, and this is what I like. Like, there's going to be some really good builds that some players are going to make. You know, it doesn't all have to be just meta. You're going to see some really, really good builds from, you know, there's going to be a lot of creativity. You're going to see some crazy builds. Yeah, also the Elder Mage builds I've been doing, like the 1-bar Mage Sulk. I've got already the Elder Mage 5.0 coming, which is going to be even higher max magicka. I think it's like 63 or something, which is insane on a 1-bar build. And that's because of subclassing. So do you know what I mean? Like, there's going to be some really good builds. I've seen some really crazy bash builds as well. I am building 1 or 2 bash builds subclassing, and they are pretty crazy. Just haven't got round to doing the bash build yet. I think I did hit 10k 10k bash damage. So the bash damage, can I show you? Yeah, that's bash damage here. I hit 10,000 on that, which is, you know, just nutty. But I don't know if it was 100% viable, because I did need to fine tune it, and then the PTS wiped my build, so I need to remake the whole thing. That's from the PTS. Once they drop a new patch or something, you lose all your templates. So I've got to record everything I do now, because I've lost a few builds. thinking, oh, they're just going to stay on there, and they're gone. Where is these nodes? So yeah, just be careful if you're on the PTS and you're making builds. Make sure you are recording your build. You know, if you're happy with it, you might lose it. I lost about 2 or 3 builds I think I was making. But like I said, you know, everything's just going to be better. The bash builds are going to be better. The healer builds are going to be better. Dueling builds will be better. Everything will just be better and stronger. So, you know, you're going to have to keep up by subclassing, like I said, unless you're a really, really good player. Like, take for instance, Adam Ladd. He's like a really good mage Sulk. Does he need to subclass to kill players? No, because he's a really good player anyway. So he's still going to kill players, even though they're subclassing. But obviously, he will be at a slight disadvantage. You know, if he subclasses, he's going to be even stronger. But does he have to? No, probably not. So, like, if you're a really good top-end player, you know, it's not 100% you have to subclass, but you just will be, it will be stacked against you without a doubt. Because they've not balanced this. This is the problem. They've not balanced it. You know, they've not nerfed things as much as what I thought they was gonna. I really thought they was gonna gut across the board to balance everything out. And they just haven't. So, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, you just gotta go with the flow if you want to remain competitive. And like I said, average players are gonna be forced to subclass if you want to kill players, because you just won't kill players unless you're really good at the game. Same with new players as well. They've got such an uphill, steep climb in PvP now, because, you know, you can't just have one toon jump into PvP and expect to kill anyone. You know, as a new player, you're going to need to subclass. You're going to need to have multiple toons to even have a chance. But yeah, you're definitely going to see some broken builds. Pretty much every build is broken with subclassing once it's been optimized. But, you know, maybe update 47 or what, they're going to iron out all this stuff once it's all been sort of gone live. But I thought the whole point of the PTS and the testing was to see, you know, what was overtuned, what needed adjustments, what needed, you know, buffing up a little bit. And they've done very little, you know, which surprised me. I really thought they was just gonna, alright, subclasses in that, you know, is out, but we're gonna be, you know, nerfing this and nerfing that, and there wasn't really many nerfs. If anything, there was more buffs than nerfs, which don't even make sense. So yeah, just be careful, and just, yeah, if you're not going to be running a meta build, yeah, just basically rallying cry on the back bar. Like, if you ain't got that critical resistance, or, you know, maybe you could get away with, what is that monster set? Is it the... I'm getting hit. Yeah, if you didn't want to run rallying cry for whatever reason, you know, like you want to run a different set, but you still want some crit resistance, then you can run, yeah, Nibony Bay, one piece, just for it gives you quite a bit of critical resistance. You could chuck that on. You just need to make sure you've got a source of critical resistance, is my opinion. You know, make sure you can't get away with, you know, what have I got? You know, 21, that's just too low, but I've got Rallying Cry on this, so, you know, I'm going to be about 3.5, 4. You know, make sure you've got impen on everything. I've seen players even just run full impen. You know, not even bothering with the reinforced anymore, just literally just going full impen. You know, so like say you're running talk and you can't run rally, then just run full impen. You know, and make sure, obviously you got the CP as well. I'm not running resilience purely because I've got rallying cry, but if you're not, make sure you have this on. Just push that critical resistance up, because you are just going to get dropped quick. And like I said, you need to be blocking as well, because even with all that, even with major protection, even with all the critical resistance under the sun, if you ain't blocking, you know, against a good player, you will go down. What is going on? I've got no dungeon coming up. Admittedly, I'm only queuing for one dungeon. Mind you, if I'm queuing for a dungeon, I might want to get rid of some of this gear.
My workshop is your...
The Lamp Knight. I don't know what that set is about, guys. That has got to be the most useless set they've brought. I've tried to make it work, but admittedly, I've not extensively tested this. But you know, reducing your damage by 46% is just far too much. I mean, it looks nice on paper because you're gaining pretty much corrosive at all times. You know, that's what you know. You think, wow, that sounds really good, but it's just reducing your damage by too much. You're just going to hit so weak. You know, penetration's not everything. You know, it should be reduce your damage done by like 25%. Then this set would be a bit more relevant. But as it stands, this has got to be one of the worst sets in the game. I don't know what this set is for. I even thought it might work on a bash build, but I think it affects the bash damage as well. So it's just, what is this set about? Let me know in the comments, guys, if you've got any ideas about this set. But I don't think anyone's come up with any really good ideas for what this set even is for, or how it can even be implemented. I mean, it's definitely usable. I mean, like, you can use it, but it's not going to be nowhere near besting slot for anything. You know, you just cannot take 46% damage reduction. It's just, that is just far too much. No, maybe 30%, but anything above 30%, nah, that set is just like a waste of time. But like I said, still collect it, guys, if you can, because they might adjust this. If this drops to 30% and below, this could be usable. Oh, we've got the dungeon finally come up. Need to wipe some more loot. That is just a crazy set. I have no idea what they were thinking. Mind you, that's not to say that, you know, like 90% of the sets in game are not even all that good. So does it really surprise me? And it's the same with even like the new sets that are coming out. With Solstice, or whatever it's called. So a lot of the sets, they're not all that. It's really just the mythic everyone wants. Everything else is just sort of like a niche build or just okay. Yeah, you definitely want to pick up Essence Thief if you haven't already. I pretty much got it. I just need a weapon, two-handed weapon.
Revealed the rifts. Destroy them.
But yeah, as regards to the new mythic, the Monomyth Reforged, like I said, in case you don't know, it pretty much just gives you major force on your front bar and major protection on your back bar, and it is a very strong mythic. A lot of players will be using it. It's pretty much going to be the meta, but like I said, it's not 100% necessary. I'm still probably going to be running like marking as a mythic or like a 2-bar setup. But yeah, the Monomyth Reforged is definitely going to be up there because major force is quite difficult to actually get hold of on a lot of builds, and that is going to be pushing people's crit damage even more and making them spec bows hit even harder. So it's definitely going to be a mythic a lot of players are going to be using, and that's pretty much the only item or set in the new upcoming chapter that's really, you know, that looks really good. Everything else looks pretty much mediocre or niche. from like, you know, like a PvP perspective. Of course, when I'm talking, I'm normally talking from a PvP perspective. I do PvE as I'm doing now, but not that much. So yeah, that's, if you are getting the latest well, say chapter, it's not a chapter even though it still is a chapter. That's what I don't understand. They like said, oh, we're not doing chapters anymore. Yeah, it's clearly just a small chapter. I'm just totally confused with that as well. Not to mention it's pretty expensive, so I think it's like the first time I'm probably not going to buy it outright until it goes on sale, because I just don't think it warrants the cash. It's just a really small zone. It's like 45 quid or something. Like, it's quite a lot of money for not a lot of content. I know you do get the dungeon packs with it as well, which I do like, but I think I'll just wait for a sale. Which is like, yeah, the first time in probably about 7 years I'm not rushing to buy it. You know, like I said, it's only the mythic that's really good, but you know, I can wait a couple of months for that. It might get nerfed anyway. Do you know what I mean? Like, is anyone else rushing to get the new chapter? Like I said, well, you know, I'm calling it a chapter. It is basically just a chapter. So, you know, it's got a trial, it's got a new zone, a small new zone. I don't think there's really much going on with it. You know, it's just a small chapter. I don't know why they've said they've got rid of chapters, and it's blatantly just a small chapter. So I have no idea what they're, you know, saying that they're toning down the content. It's still a chapter, but you're just getting dungeon packs with it on top. Mate, this bloke is cleaning up. Nice to have a quick run through this, I suppose. So yeah, I probably won't be rushing to get the new DLC. When it goes on sale, it's like 20 quid or so, and I'll probably pick it up. I just don't think it warrants the money. You know, there's not any super crazy sets I'm desperate to get. Yeah, I want to play the new zone, but I'm not really in a mad rush. There's plenty of other things I can be doing until it goes on sale. But yeah, is anyone rushing to get it? Let me know in the comments, guys. Not that I'm trying to put a downer on the new one. You know, I do want to play it. I just don't think it just warrants that level of money for what you're getting. It's a very, very small zone. I know it's only got half a zone and you're getting the last bit at the end of the year or something, but there's not a lot to explore. It's a very, very small zone. You know, just a trial, couple of delves, couple of world bosses, some quests, and that's pretty much it. Oh, I've only got the Jack of the Essence Thief, that's quite nice. It's always the weapons you want. But where have they gone? Speed run. Well, they're proper speed running it. Mind you, I can't complain because it's not really a dungeon you want to be doing when you've done it like 400 times on like Xbox and stuff. It's not really a dungeon I want to be in for a long period of time anyway. just going to quickly put on dual wield just at the end, just to grab the experience. Because I do want to level dual wield, I just can't be bothered. Right, grand. Oh, it's not as random though, is it? Oh, damn it. I totally forgot, I thought I was doing a random dungeon. So I won't get the big experience bonus. Who's dying? Oh my god, trying to get a res on this boss is so annoying. Probably don't really need to. No, definitely don't need to. Okay, I mean definitely don't need to. Oh, spell power cure.
The scroll said I'd be skewered if... Never mind. I'll take this. Follow me!
I'm not even going to bother asking. As everyone's left anyway. I didn't even get any experience. Wow, everyone's gone. But like I said, I think also they probably... Well, it might have been a bit controversial or whatever, but I think they should have made the subclassing with the chapter, to be honest, because where the subclassing is coming to base game for free, the scribing's coming to base game for free. It's like, what are you actually getting with this chapter then, apart from just the new zone and the access to mythics? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just, I'm not saying they should pay all the subclassing, but it don't feel like you're getting much with the content pass or whatever it is on 5 dual. Will that do? As if I ever level it. Yeah, so I said so because, yeah, the subclassing is going to be base game, the scribing is going to be base game. You know, like, I'm not in no mad rush to play the new chapter. I can wait until it goes on sale. I just don't think you're getting that much for your money. You know, I said it's only the mythic that's really sort of looks quite tasty. You know, which I can wait a few months for to farm. I just got a plant there. It was a green one though. They do drop. But yeah, I'm just confused what sort of you know, what sort of content they're trying to do, because they're saying they're getting rid of the chapters. You know, they're not making chapters anymore. Yet it's clearly a chapter. I mean, it's being released around the same time as chapters drop anyway every year, and you know, it includes a trial. It's a new zone, new world bosses, new mythics. It's exactly the same as a chapter. I need to make a video on this. So they're not calling it a chapter, even though it's blatantly still just a chapter. What is the difference, guys, between, you know, what's dropping this year, this content pass, apart from you getting the dungeon packs included? But, you know, what is the difference, apart from it being smaller and still essentially a chapter? Yeah, there's so much stuff coming to the base game with the new patch anyway that you don't even have to pay for. Like I said, yeah, you're getting the scribing, you're getting the subclassing, console's getting all the add-ons. It's like, do I need to rush and buy the new chapter or whatever it is? Like, no, I don't really need to. I don't think a lot of players need to, unless, like, you know, you're desperate to play the new zone, which I do want to play the new zone. I like exploring the new zones and stuff, but I'm not in a mad rush. I think I'll be too busy subclassing and, you know, doing the scribing quest line on PC and stuff to be bothered. To be like, oh, I must rush and get that mythic, and that's about the only thing people are going to rush for. You know, is to get the mythic, which could be nerfed anyway. Which, well, they normally do nerf the mythics. They just keep them out for a month or two, just so people buy them, you know, buy the content or whatever, and then it's gone. Camera feels a bit slow still, is it? I've got it on full. Can you move the subscribing so I can see the drops? Oh yeah, we'll do, mate. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, the only drop I've got with the plants is I have got that. It's only a green one, of course. Not that elusive purple one. I'm not really expecting to get it, but you never know. Just something different to farm. And I have seen people get it. I think it was on Xbox EU. That someone put it up in the zone chat. I thought, bloody hell, that's going to be worth like 200 million plus. Maybe 50 million on console. I should have asked them where they sourced it from, but it's meant to drop from nodes in Vardenville. I farm for the mushroom every day and no luck yet. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm not really expecting to get it, but it would be nice if you did. At the end of the day, you're making gold anyway because, you know, you're accumulating all the plants, which you can make expensive potions or just sell it, you know, en masse anyway. So it's not like you're wasting your time, because a lot of people say, oh, well, you're just wasting your time, you're never going to get it. And you're probably right, you're probably not going to get it. You know, the odds are stacked against you. But you're still making gold. It's still a gold farm. You're still picking up nodes and stuff. You'll still make gold. And if you do hit the jackpot, you hit the jackpot. I just like to do farms where you've always got that chance of getting something, you know, like obviously if you want to do a plant farm, the most effective is probably the Hollow City. But you've literally got no chance of any like rare stuff coming up. So yeah, I just like to do a farm where there's just a little taster of something you might get. You know, it just gives you a bit more of an incentive to keep farming. It's the same with like farming nodes, like just general nodes. You know, if you're farming Craglorn, you've got the potential to get potent Nurncrux, so it's just like a little extra. Whereas if you just farm somewhere normal, you know, you might, I like something just a little extra. Same with safe boxes, you know, I wouldn't just farm safe boxes, you know, in a normal zone. If you farm the safe boxes here, you know, then you might get a painting. So that's the way I like to farm. I think it's the best way to farm. Just farm whatever you want to farm, and then it might have a rare, you know, chance to drop something really good.
You there, Outlander. I have a proposition for you.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the console having the harvest node. That's the one I want the most. Not that I really want to farm too much with all this banning stuff going on, but hopefully we'll be alright. The Velofi room dividers from the safe boxes have about 3 to 6 month cooldown. I have 4 of them. The room dividers? I don't think I've ever had one of those. I've had the paintings. I've never had the room dividers. And they drop from the safe boxes as well. Yeah, I've had the paintings, the big paintings and the small paintings from the safe boxes. So they're always worth farming. Again, the drop rate's not great. But yeah, I don't know about the dividers. I've never had one of those. I did not know there was a stolen item. I'll have to look that up. Three panel room dividers. They are on the wall of where the safe boxes are if you want to see what they look like. And they drop in the safe boxes. Oh, sweet. Yeah, I've definitely never had one of those. So they're Velofi room dividers. Oh, we got a BG. Yeah, I'll look into those then. Yeah, I'm sure I've never had one of those. Because if they're a stolen furnishing as well, they're going to go for good gold. But yeah, I like going after like the rare items in the game as well. But yeah, I've only really had luck with like the shivering cheese I've got, or I've had, and yeah, the Velofi paintings. I've never really had anything else crazy rare. Someone's put, who's ready for a wonderful time? I'm sure this will be a highly balanced and fun BG like they all are. Yeah, definitely. Oh yes. Tell Bernara Way Shrine. Oh yeah, it's in the southern side. And there are 2 locked houses next to this shrine. You will see dividers on the wall. Yeah, I'll check that. 2 shivering cheese so far. 12-month cooldown on those. Yeah, I mean I've been doing safe boxes for years and years, and I've only ever had one. The cooldown on those, it must be crazy. Yeah, and they're not even worth that much either. They should be worth like millions and millions. They're only worth like 500,000, which is crazy because they're so rare. But yeah, I definitely don't do the BGs as much now because I really don't like the new BGs. Imagine being a Rush of Agony, a Nightblade. Couldn't be me. Yeah, the new BGs are okay, but I definitely prefer the old one. And they said they was going to bring it back in like events and stuff, and they haven't so far. Waiting for players. What we don't have the players. Mind you, this is definitely one of the better maps. This is the first 8v8 I've played in months, because every time you play console and you queue for both, you only ever get 4v4. There's just not enough players, I think. Right, is this match going to start? They're going for the buffs. Well, our team is just destroying these. I think I've got a kill though. I've been farming the runners, furnishing plans in Somerset at the moment. Thanks for your previous pickpocketing video. It's been a fun farm. Yeah, that's something I've not got yet. Again, yeah, if you want to do pickpocketing, that's definitely the best place too, because again, you're going to earn gold from just doing the pickpocketing, but yeah, you've got them rare chances, which is nice. Like, their players are just being hoovered up. A rush of agony. Well, I've got a lot of players on me now. But as you can see, yeah, this build's just really tanky. I'm not going to be killing huge amounts of players. Try and get one kill. Well, I'm just being abused. Can't even move. But yeah, the table runners, yeah, is definitely something I've always wanted to get. I've farmed it quite extensively and I've never had any luck. But yeah, you still make the gold anyway. I swear I put my Northern Storm up. The ult's not popping. But yeah, I just like this build because you can be quite aggressive. You know, it's going to take a lot to put you down. Wow, that player just cleaned up big time. Very balanced, yeah. That was definitely a balanced match. Yeah, I'm going to leave it there, guys. But thank you to everyone that's tuned into the stream. Like I said, I will be doing more streams once we get better internet. It's not been too bad, though, to be fair. Oh yeah, I'll have some more build videos dropping next week. Got some more stuff planned. Yeah, so catch me in the next stream, guys.